A sun-splashed September afternoon here in Las Vegas, Nevada, as we are happy to bring you coverage of the inaugural Las Vegas Pickleball Open here at the Plaza Hotel and Casino at 1 Main Street, Las Vegas. Hey everybody, welcome to Las Vegas. Dave Benz hanging out with Melissa McCurley and Mark Renison. And guys, we're excited to be here and be a part of this tournament as pickleball continues to grow and yet another major tournament added to the schedule.
Oh, absolutely. It's been a great week. We started with an amateur event the first part of the week and then are going on with the pros today.
Mark, you've seen this sport really grow, and to see a tournament like this with a large purse for the pros, it really is impressive.
What a thrill. This is one of the richest pickleball tournaments in the sport right now. And so to come to such a beautiful place in Las Vegas here at the Plaza Hotel is a real treat for spectators and players.
Yeah, the purse of $25,000 vaults it right to the top of pickleball tournaments that are being played around the country right now. Over 300 players, not just from the United States, but 4 countries represented in this tournament here. We are excited to get the coverage underway. Let's play some pickleball here in Sin City. Don't go anywhere. Live action coming your way next. Welcome back to Las Vegas, a beautiful and hot Saturday afternoon under the sun here in Sin City. It will be a fun afternoon featuring some of the best players in the sport. Simone Jardim is featured in our first live stream match here today. And guys, all she's done is enter tournaments and win tournaments. I mean, she's taken gold medals in 47 of the last 54 events that she's participated in.
I mean, she's just a dominant player in the game. Continues to be just over 2 years running now, ever since she came onto the scene. I remember seeing her play for the first time in Michigan at a regional tournament, and I came back to surprise Arizona and said, hey guys, there's someone new on the scene y'all are going to have to look out for.
She'll be paired with Kyle Yates here in the winner's bracket final in the pro mixed doubles division, and they will be opposed by Sarah Ansboury, who in her own right has been one of the best players in all of pickleball for a long, long time. She did not play yesterday, but she is playing mixed doubles today. She'll team with Tyler McGuffin, and Tyler has had a pretty good year as well. He was the gold medal winner at the U.S. Open in the singles, and he took bronze in the doubles.
Yeah, and actually my bad on that's Tyson McGuffin that's playing with Sarah Ansboury, and yeah, she is absolutely one of the tops in the game.
And we are just about set to get underway. Our first live stream match of the afternoon here from Las Vegas, Nevada. And it should be a fun afternoon. We'll see how this heat factors into things because, guys, it does feel a little bit warmer to me today anyway than it did yesterday.
Yeah, well, it's we'll have to look and see when the temperature comes around up on the building there. But in this shade, it's a good 15 degrees cooler than it is in the sun. And it actually feels pretty comfortable here.
So it's the first side out right away. We've got Simone serving at 0-0-1. That's a great deep return of serve from Sarah Ansboury. Pickleball players at home would do well to return deep the way Sarah did right there, because if your opponents are far back behind the baseline, they can't do a lot of damage.
Guys, is it an advantage or disadvantage for Sarah to be coming in and she is playing her first action today without having had a chance to play yesterday?
Yeah, I just think with the amount of pickleball that these players get to play, and Sarah does a lot of instruction as well. I know she's been doing a lot of travel, but I don't think it's an advantage or disadvantage. You know, she's just playing fantastic pickleball right now.
And McGuffin trying to go for the kill, instead hits it into the net. So our first point of this game on the board, 1-0-2. And side out, we'll change sides. Interesting note you were telling me earlier about Tyson McGuffin, the fact that he hired Morgan Evans as a coach and became the first player to have a pro pickleball coach.
Yeah, he did. And Tyler, when he came into the scene, was dominant singles player. I mean, he's still one of the top guys in singles. And he has really, in the last 18 months, worked very, very hard on his doubles game with the help of Coach Morgan Evans. And it has really paid off. He got his first men's doubles title for the Tournament of Champions at the end of August, and just an outstanding young man and somebody that puts every ounce of effort he has into the game.
Ansboury's dink a little bit short, catches the net. So 1-1-2. And McGuffin hits it long.
Yeah, this I think is sort of it's kind of characteristic for Tyson. He plays with such intensity, such athletic movement out there. Sometimes he gets amped up a little bit too much, and you'll sometimes see, we've already seen 2 unforced errors so far on high forehand balls that he should be able to put away, that he normally does put away, that he's hit 1 into the net and 1 out. So sometimes this is something that I know that he and Morgan have been working on, is being able to find that sort of happy medium where he's playing with the intensity that serves him well without overdoing it, which causes errors.
How tough is it for somebody who's been accomplished as a singles player to be able to make that adjustment to doubles?
Yeah, I know at least it can be tough. I mean, just think about it. He came in, you know, high-level tennis player, came into the game instantly dominant really in singles, and then taking about 18 months to get to that same place in doubles.
So 2-1-2. This the first of our coverage today, best of 3.
Yeah, and this is a double elimination format in this particular tournament. So whoever loses this match, Dave, will go down to the bronze medal match and still would have an opportunity to come back and win a gold medal here.
And it does make things interesting, there's no question, because you can get into a situation where in the gold medal match where the team that has not lost a match yet on the day loses the match, and then you go into an extra game, if you will, a 15-point game. We saw that last night on the women's side. And eventually, Corinne Carr and Simone Jardim were able to emerge, but they had to go to extra time to get it done.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And we talked a bit about it yesterday, to where sometimes there's an advantage if you go down into that opportunity bracket, right? Because you're staying warm, you're playing a couple of more matches while the team waiting for you to come up from that opportunity bracket has been sitting. Sometimes that rest causes some rust, and you know, you may not get the match, or certainly you might end up having to play extra innings there.
So Yates wisely dodges out of that shot from Ansboury.
The Las Vegas Open, Dave and Mark, is a prize money tournament. There's a $25,000 purse in this tournament. The first place winner for today's Mixed Doubles Pro will walk home with $4,000. That'll be split between the 2 of them.
Sarah Ansboury, yeah, asking for a ruling. Is the ball appeared to catch the cable that's steadying the net there.
Yep, this will be. There's some confusion. Yeah, the rule is that anytime that the ball hits the crossbar, right, of part of the net, it doesn't matter which side it's on, then it's called to let you replay the point. And so there's just a little bit of confusion here whether it actually hit or not. This is interesting, it's a new kind of net. Players at home might not have seen this one before. This is called the Swift net. And you can see that the bar, instead of it being a bar that is horizontal to the ground, you can see how it arcs, sort of like a parabola. And this is a new net on the market. It's very lightweight. A lot of people like it because it's so lightweight. But you can see all 4 players and the referee being a little unsure what the ruling was there, because this net and its construction is a little bit different. It's sort of an unusual way for the ball to hit that crossbar.
Yeah, not only lighter weight, it has the cable that's going across the top of the net, right? So it makes it something that's playing truer to a permanent net than what the temporary nets that don't have that cable run through. They play pretty flimsy there.
Yates unable to get it over, and so now he will take over the serve as the second server.
That's a tough return from Tyson. Both he and Sarah love hitting those backhand returns, backhand slice returns. A lot of recreational players try to avoid their backhands. When you watch the pros, they very often like hitting them. When you hit with that backhand, sometimes it's a little easier to generate backspin. If the ball has got backspin, it stays a bit lower, and it just makes for a tougher third shot for your opponents to hit.
Yeah, and the deeper you can get that serve, certainly the better too, right, Mark?
Yeah, a deep serve is good because it makes it harder it makes the journey to the net for the returning team a little bit longer. And but you can see with Tyson here, and we'll see if he wins this point and gets another chance to serve, he is easily the hardest server in the game. And when he came on the scene and started really ripping those serves, not just to start the point, but to gain an advantage.
Well-placed lob, and what a job McGuffin does to get it back.
Yeah,
Wow.
Wow.
That was an impressive point.
It was very impressive. And, you know, Dave, just to touch a little bit on that, you know, a lot of times people are asking how is the best way to play a lob. Tyson just did a great job of showing that right there. He ran up under it, got himself in a position to be able to drop the ball back over onto the other side of the net. So it's, if you can do that, it's better than trying to backpedal and then trying to get your paddle on it, because oftentimes when you're going backwards like that, nothing good's really going to happen.
McGuffin plays the angle, and Yates unable to catch up to it.
That's a really important combination of shots that we saw right there. It's called a drive poach cross, and there's going to be a timeout called here. We can talk about that drive poach after the timeout maybe, but that combination of hitting the third shot really hard and then poaching across the court, anticipating a pop-up, is a very effective combination.
More on that as we continue on from Vegas. A timeout with Yates and Jardim leading game 1, 6-2. The Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown, Miller Lite, and by Highlands. Back here in Las Vegas, some great aerial views of the Plaza Hotel and Casino. 13 pickleball courts in all, including championship court. Right now, Jardim and Yates trying to open up some breathing room. McGuffin with other ideas, able to smash it home. And we will change sides for the serve.
And what a fantastic venue this has been here all week long, Dave. It's people have had so much fun. You've got a pool right up here on the rooftop with the courts. You've got gambling tables. You have music. You have bars. It's just a fantastic environment for people to have a good time.
There's a lot of energy, and you can go downstairs and play the tables. And eventually, we're told there may be some discussion to try and actually put pickleball into the sports book downstairs for perhaps the second installment of this tournament next year. How about Kyle Yates going up top and Simone with the enthusiasm knocking the paddle out of Kyle's hand?
Oh, that's always fun. It's enthusiasm, but most of the time what we see from Simone is a lot of tenacity, that's for sure. Love her spirit on the court.
Joyce Craig Jones on Facebook asking, is this in Vegas? Yes, we are definitely in Vegas.
Yes, we are. And back to that sports book, I know Mr. Scott Lippitz, who is a huge fan and watcher of the game, would certainly probably get in on some of that action.
And some people who were watching us yesterday on the live stream, Melissa, they know that you were going ziplining on fabulous Fremont Street last night, and followed about an hour and a half later by myself and our producer Ray Koliakovo also went ziplining. We all did the Superman style down Fremont Street. And your experience, mine was unbelievable.
Yeah, mine was unbelievable too. And it's something I feel like I could actually do a second time on the bucket list. But yeah, it was just amazing as they opened up that slot machine door. It was just quiet, and then you zip line like you're flying right in as a bird under the canopy there on Fremont Street. It was just fantastic. It's
just one of the many things you can do by coming out here to the Las Vegas Pickleball Open. Put it on your calendar for next September. It is a great time to be here in Vegas.
Yeah, Mark, you're going to have to do it next time. You can't miss out. You do have to make an appointment about a week in advance to get that Superman slot.
Ansboury finally with the error into the net after a pretty good exchange by both sides. 3-6-2 as we're midway through the first game of this best-of-3 match.
And Mark, what are you seeing early on here as the strategy for both sides? The strategy seems to be a bit similar, if you ask me, by both teams.
I mean, the thing anytime you're, excuse me, the thing anytime you're playing doubles is it's smart to target the weaker player or the presumed weaker player on the other side. The trouble is when you have these four players together, they're so good. There is no obvious weakness here. So what you're seeing a lot of the players do is they'll play the percentages more often. So, for example, hitting cross-court is a more high percentage play. You're going to see Tyson serving hard here. He's looking to get a short return from Kyle, something he can drive. Kyle was able to wisely steer it clear of Tyson's forehand.
We've had Steve Kennedy join us. Hello to Steve. We're also one of our top players in pickleball. Wish you were here, Steve.
How about the ground being covered by McGuffin?
Ooh.
That backhand reverse shot was fantastic.
And what a great example we just saw there. Both Tyson and Sarah both being excellent defense and then working their way back beautifully onto the kitchen line.
Tell you what, we talked about that point yesterday in the Yates, Johns, Dawson, Loong match, but this is rivaling it.
Wow.
And finally won by Yates.
Yeah, so this is what players at home will often hear about resetting the point. What that really means is going from being in a position of weakness, being on defense, being able to play a ball that sort of neutralizes the opponents and gets you back to even footing. And we saw a couple times there where one team would hit an offensive shot and the defenders were able to play a neutralizing ball. Right now, Ansboury and McGuffin trying to neutralize. They did. They're now back in the point.
Yeah, Sarah's just playing some outstanding defense in this match. You see, she's handling everything.
One of the things I like watching about Sarah, especially when she's up at the net and she's playing volleys and she's playing dinks, is how compact her swing is. She's got really quiet hands, right? She doesn't move the paddle more than it needs to be. You can see examples of that here. Same with Tyson, actually. And because their hands are so quiet, because the paddle moves so little, there's less margin, there's less likelihood for a mistake. And so that's one of the reasons why you see all these players be so consistent, is because they're efficient with how they move. Their technique is good to get the job done, but they don't overdo it.
4-6-1 now as the serve switches sides. Unforced error by Jardim.
Yeah, you don't see Simone get quite impatient that quick there, so I don't know if she's feeling a little bit of pressure here, Dave. She certainly could be. We'll see how that plays out as we go.
That's the 8th unforced error from Jardim and Yates already.
And Yates thought that might go long, and it does land inbounds for Ansboury, so we are knotted up now at 6 points apiece. This has been tightly contested from the onset. And now back on top.
Interesting, Chad Edwards, our statistician, who happens to be married to Simone Jardim, is taking our stats for us, and so far both teams have hit 7 third shot drops and 7 third shot drives. So you're really seeing some variety from these players right now.
Yeah, but also maybe kind of consistent with what I was saying earlier. They seem to have some similar strategies in how they're playing the game.
And Mark, I know you've made a living on the importance of the third shot. Is that something that is more of a feel thing, or do you come in with a plan for how you're going to try to play that third shot?
So, well, that's a...
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Great job getting back by Simone.
Fantastic. And she is zoned in right now.
Oh. Man, to have a point like that end with an unforced error is just brutal. That was an unbelievable exchange.
Yeah, the teams... Oh, they're taking a timeout here. Maybe we can discuss the third shot after the break.
Well, another look at that final finish to that flurry. And how about this? Ansboury and McGuffin have taken a 2-point advantage here in game 1. They lead at 8-6. The Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown. Miller Lite and by Head. Back here in Las Vegas, a sunny Saturday afternoon, and the pickleball action has not disappointed. We have seen a couple of fantastic exchanges already in game 1 of this best-of-3 match in the winner's bracket final between Sarah Ansboury and her teammate Tyson McGuffin, Kyle Yates, and Simone Jardim in the near court. And we've talked about the track record of success Jardim has had for nearly 2 years. She's played in 54 events and has won 47 golds. Only 2 bronze over that stretch, but guys, one of the bronze that she did take was the last event that she played in Brigham City. In mixed doubles, she had to settle for a bronze.
Yeah, and it was certainly she was expected to take that and win that one. So it I think just showed us all that Simone is human. She didn't actually win gold.
So this is quite the comeback. So we were talking about Tyson's serve and how he's the fastest server in the game, and he goes for more. That's one of the risks, is that he hits a bit too hard, a little too high, and those balls go out, and that's a side out. We're going to see if Yates and Jardim can get a couple points here and stop this game from slipping away.
Yeah, they had a 6-2 lead, so it's been 7 unanswered points for Ansboury and McGuffin.
And there's the first one.
That ends it. Gets it back to a 2-point margin here.
So, I mean, one of the things I love watching the top players play is how the game evolves, how one person tries and starts to do something new, and whether that's hitting two-handed backhands like you see from Simone, whether that's switching hands like you see from some players like Wes Gabrielson or Curtis Campbell, where they see players hitting their serves hard and with heavy topspin like we see from Tyson. And what that does is it then pushes the other players to, there's an around the post. Wow, what a great around the post from Simone.
We talked at the top of the broadcast how big of a weapon that can be when you pull it out.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to hit over the net, and this is something that new players don't always know. You can hit around the net. The nice thing about hitting around the net is that you can hit as low as you want. And as you know, if that ball is down low, it's so much tougher to get back. So yeah, if you find yourself pulled out wide and you see an opening there, hard and low is a really tough shot to defend against.
So a little rally here now, as this game is again knotted at 9.
Another timeout. They want to stop the momentum.
Can't take them home with you.
It was a 7-0 run by Ansboury and McGuffin, but Jardim and Yates have answered with a 3-0 run of their own. We're knotted at 9 here in Game 1. The Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown, and by Miller Lite and Franklin, the X40, the official ball of the Las Vegas Pickleball Open. A good look at the murals that adorn the Plaza Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas. They are a sight to see. So well done. Such a great addition to the Las Vegas skyline. And we are tied up here in game number 1 of the mixed doubles winners bracket final.
Yeah, and for those of you having the opportunity to enjoy this match on Facebook Live, be sure to share this video with your friends. The share button in the lower right-hand side of your screen.
I looked at the stats from yesterday's live stream, and it reached over 30,000 people by this morning, and that's on the replay as well. But an impressive following for pickleball, there's no question. The sport continues to grow. Over 3.2 million people domestically now play pickleball. One of the fastest growing sports in the entire United States.
Yeah, and worldwide it's really growing as well. And the number of countries that are getting involved just continues to grow. The Bainbridge Cup, something that's become very, very popular. It's a North American and Europe type competition currently, but that will continue to expand as more countries come in.
Right as you say that, I see Margot Wilson McLaren saying she's watching from Ontario.
Welcome, Margot.
My neighbor.
Is that in the literal sense or more the figurative sense?
I too live in the province of
Well,
Ontario.
I know you live, but I'm saying it, do you actually know her?
Yeah, I'm not sure. She said she was from Bath, and I'm not sure I know where Bath is. Maybe Margot can post there and tell us. But Ontario is a pretty big province, a beautiful province. Pickleball is growing like crazy there. Of course, we play a lot of indoor pickleball in those winter months.
And for those that don't know who that might be talking, it's Mark Renison. I'm Melissa McCurley, also joined by Dave Benz.
And check out Simone Jardim.
All right. We could maybe call that a turning point here.
That's the intensity that I'm talking about. She is a fierce competitor and very animated. People love it.
Happy to see her side get the serve back, trying to take advantage, see if they can get these last couple of points to close out game 1, but not so fast, say McGuffin and Ansboury.
Yeah, they are playing, all 4 players just playing extremely high-level pickleball here this afternoon. Exciting to see.
There's another reset almost. Simone's trying to get that ball a bit lower. Now the point's been reset. neutralized, and now neither team really has an advantage.
One thing I've noticed when you're playing against a guy who has so much power like McGuffin, it's really tough to be able to get it into a dink game. Ansboury finally hits it where Jardim can't handle it.
Yeah, we had someone on Facebook just ask us about offensive lobs, and Simone there tried to lob it over Sarah. You see the pros lob very seldom because they're such good movers. And when you lob your opponent, if you don't hit it perfectly, you're either hitting it too far and it goes out, or as we saw in the case of Simone's last lob, it's too low or too short and it gets put away for a smash. So if you're playing against people who are great movers, then lobs become very risky. You better make sure that you're going to hit that one well, because anything that's not perfect is likely going to result in your opponents winning the point.
How about Ansboury playing the angle there, just able to keep it in bounds. So now game point, McGuffin with the serve. And into the net, so second server Ansboury will try to close it out.
That's the 8th unforced error from McGuffin and Ansboury. 10 so far for Jardim and Yates. There we go.
There it is.
So there it is. First game goes to Ansboury and McGuffin, 11-9. 1 point they rolled off 7 consecutive points to get back in this game and take advantage. There's the final point, and they lead this best-of-3 match 1-0. Don't go anywhere. Game number 2 coming your way after this quick timeout. The Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown. Miller Lite and by Head. Back here in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, the Plaza Hotel and Casino. 1 Main Street is the address. It is in the heart of everything, right at the end of fabulous Fremont Street, and so many different things to do. And whether it's Cinco de Mayo, whether it is the 4th of July, whatever.
I went to a wedding last night.
Yeah.
Just random strangers.
Hey, I was in an elevator with a bride that was getting married this morning on my way down to breakfast. There are weddings. You know what? You think of Vegas, you think of the weddings, you think of, the Elvis hangover, you think of people going to the Little Chapel of Love. But the more I come to Vegas, I see people, it looks like planned weddings now, not just impromptu weddings. Like the entire wedding party is here. And Vegas has become a place to do so many things, and now pickleball a part of that list of opportunities as well.
Well, yeah, and the Plaza Hotel is such a great place. Now that, on top of everything else, now that they've got pickleball here, they've got the pool up here on the 5th floor on the rooftop. It's a great place to spend some time, whether you're getting married or just going away for a weekend.
Yeah, lots of restaurants on site. Of course, if you enjoy gambling, there's plenty of that to be done here as well. And bingo.
And guys, we talked yesterday a little bit. There are some notable names. Most of the heavyweights are here in Vegas, but there are some notable names that did not make the trip to Vegas for this inaugural Las Vegas Pickleball Open. And a lot of that was because some of the finer deep points of this tournament were not finalized until a late point in the season, when a lot of players had already finalized where they were going to be with their schedule. I think next year we're going to see even more participation amongst the pros, and we had 300 plus players overall. I think we'll see the general number in mass grow as well next year.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. The Plaza Hotel's done an absolute fantastic job putting on this event. You haven't heard from anyone who hasn't had a good time while they're here. It's just an atmosphere that's allowed them to not only play some great pickleball against some great competitors, but also enjoy themselves off the court. And what they've done here with this championship court, this is just fantastic. Great feel for the players and great viewing for the spectators.
Ansboury, well-placed return.
I think it was just wide, that one. It's tough to see from here, but it was just wide. 1-1-1 is the score. Kyle Yates serving. So players might not be familiar with seeing Tyson and Sarah cross as much as they do. You're going to see it again here after he returns serve. So you'll notice that, or she returns serve, pardon me. So when she returns, she's going to go in. They're going to switch spots. And what they're doing by switching, or sometimes not switching, is they're giving their opponents something that they have to think about. If sometimes they cross, let's say, for example, they're trying to target Tyson. Well, if he's on the left side and they hit to the left side, but instead they've switched at the last second, now that ball is going to Sarah instead. You can see they give a hand signal to communicate to each other. Yes, they're going to cross. And then Tyson got the ball he wanted.
Can they have the opposite effect too, though, Mark, as far as where it's not really messing up the opponent, so it's maybe more messing you up?
For players who haven't spent much time crossing or don't communicate well, it can cause a problem. But these guys, they know what they're doing. They know if they're switching, they know exactly what's going to happen, when they're going to do it. Their timing is down so that it is less likely to give it away to their opponents. So for newer players, absolutely, it can be a little confusing. Sometimes then you forget whose turn it is to serve or to return. But with a bit of practice, like anything, you can get it under control.
Ansboury into the net.
There's a timeout.
A timeout taken. It is 5-1-2 right now in favor of Jardim and Yates. And we saw them have an early lead in game one, and then Ansboury and McGuffin came storming back. Will there be more of the same in game two? Stay tuned. We're back in a moment. The Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown, Miller Lite, and by Highlands. Back here in Las Vegas, game two of the mixed double pro winners bracket final. Dave Benz, Melissa McCurley, and Mark Renison along with you on our live stream. Melissa McCurley, of course, with Pickleball Central and pickleballtournaments.com. Mark Renison with Third Shot Sports.
Yeah, it's great to be back here with you, Dave.
Yeah, you guys were together in Naples for the U.S. Open, and unfortunately, I, for the first time ever, had to miss the U.S. Open Pickleball Championships because my main gig, calling play-by-play for the Minnesota Timberwolves, they actually had a playoff appearance for the first time in 14 years. So I had to work a little longer on the NBA season.
I remember you telling us the year before that was a risk, although it may be low, but then look, it happened.
Well, that was a nice happening for the folks in the Twin Cities, no question.
Absolutely.
But I did miss pickleball in Naples. That's I've enjoyed being a part of that event. Chris Evan and the rest. Jim Ludwig, who's the tournament director there. Of course, Terry. They put on such a great event.
And we've really grown at the U.S. Open since you were there. This last U.S. Open had 2,000 players. The tournaments just keep growing everywhere. Oh, geez. Look at that defense from Simone. I mean, great defense, got herself back in the point, and then throws a winner down the line.
So scores 5-2-1. Yates is serving. We had someone, a newer player who's watching this Facebook stream, ask about, can you decide which side of the court you can play on? But can you ever change who receives the serve?
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Sarah had
that will be a replay-worthy shot right there.
Yeah, replay-worthy for sure. And for Simone to reach out like that, you know, almost diving for that ball
so look
and
how
get it back
wide
in.
she got
Impressive.
pulled. She had no real chance to hit that ball except hitting around the post. That's an exceptional shot. So to answer that Steve's question about serving, no. Once you've started the match, once you've started the game, if it's your turn to serve, you have to serve, and if it's your turn to receive, you have to receive. Now, where you position yourself or where your partner positions themselves, that's up to your team.
Get Brandon Swanson on Facebook saying, that's where I recognized your name and voice, a Minnesota native.
Oh, okay. All right.
Brandon, actually, I saw last weekend in Kansas City at a major pickleball event, and he informed me that even though he lives in Minnesota and I live just north of Toronto, he's actually more north than I am.
I don't doubt that to be true.
That just means more cold.
There is plenty of that to go around. I'm guessing in Toronto as well as in Minneapolis.
This is why I live in Arizona.
So the players here are playing low, soft shots, forcing their opponents to hit up, looking for something that's a little bit high above the net that they could then hit hard and hit down into the court. We're going to see who blinks first here.
Yeah, seeing a lot of patience. No one wanting to force anything. Waiting for that ball to just get up too high.
The players are hitting cross-court largely because the net's a little bit lower over the middle. Oh, there's that high ball.
And then Ansboury, yep, hits it out of bounds.
Yeah, she wasn't able to extend out for that. She just kind of had to react and pushed it wide.
So McGuffin now is the second server.
We have Cliff Chu with us again this afternoon. Cliff promising us he'll be here to play next year in the skill division, 4-5 or higher. We look forward to seeing you, Cliff.
This tournament in all, as we mentioned, over 300 players, both pro and amateur. $25,000 purse, and that's instantly making it one of the richest pickleball tournaments on the entire circuit.
Yeah, it is. It's one of the highest purses in pickleball for here at the the Las Vegas Open. $4,000 going to the winners of the mixed doubles pro today. Second place gets $1,500 and third place $750.
McGuffin couldn't catch up with it.
So, Dave and Melissa, that is now 5 winners in this game alone so far for Jardim and Yates. So they're really playing high-quality pickleball here. They're earning these points not because so much Tyson and Sarah. Oh, we got a gust of wind that just came through, folks.
And we were worried all week. We were worried all week about the wind being a factor, and it has stayed away for the most part, but the gusts have picked up a little bit here this afternoon, and well, it's what can you do?
It tells the story right there, doesn't it? The wind has stayed away.
And somebody had asked us, were the red things that were along the net, were those feet for the net? No, those are actually sandbags that they put on it to try and hold it down a little bit steady. I think maybe we might need a little bit bigger sandbag.
Well, I mean, you know, this venue is so beautiful, and this week has been great. And what does sometimes happen, though, is there's a little gust that goes through, and something like this just blew the net over. No big deal. They're going to fix that, get it back to where it's supposed to be.
And it is interesting because we are on a rooftop setting. For the most part, we're pretty shielded from the wind, but if it comes in just the right way, it can swirl and amplify a gust, and I think that's what we saw happen right there.
Yeah, and that's why we're here in the shade, right? It's because of the building that's just behind us. You can start to see the sun peeking out on the bleachers on the opposite end from where we're sitting, and that sun will continue to come onto the court as this afternoon progresses.
Cindy Graham asking why not a permanent court with a permanent net, and I guess that I'm going to guess that that'll be something that will be addressed between year 1 and year 2 of this tournament. The nets on the other courts, as we get a look at the courts, 13 of them, those are more permanent, attached to poles that are affixed to the ground. Many of them are, not all of them, but many of them are.
Okay, here we go. Back, net fixed, back to the game.
So something like that could break some momentum too, and maybe the break that Ansboury and McGuffin were looking for.
Yeah, Simone and Kyle up on an 8-2 lead. Has the difference been in this one?
Yeah.
Is the difference in this one, Mark, this game from game 1 to game 2, has it been the unforced errors?
Well, there haven't really been that many unforced errors. Jardim and Yates have actually made more unforced errors. However, they've also hit way more winners. The timeout's been called, and so they're playing a higher risk game style. They're going for more, and if they do it well, they get rewarded, and if they don't, it's an error.
9-2 advantage with a timeout here in Las Vegas as Yates and Yates and Jardim trying to push it to a third game. The Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown, and by Miller Lite and Franklin, the X40, the official ball of the Las Vegas Pickleball Open. Back here in Las Vegas, Nevada, Plaza Hotel and Casino bills itself as the place to be downtown, and it certainly is that, right at the end of fabulous Fremont Street. So much to do. You can stay at the Plaza Hotel, play pickleball. There's great restaurants all over. You can gamble all night, whether it's the tables or the sports book. So many things to do. And it has been a great week here in Las Vegas. I know the players have enjoyed their stay. Everyone associated with the tournament has had a great time. Everyone's been thrilled with the way it's been received. And the level of play has been exceptional.
Yes, it has. And being able to stay right here on site at the hotel, just come right down to the 5th floor, which is where the rooftop is located here with the pickleball. Lots of other things to do.
We have a game point coming up, 10-2-2.
Oh.
10-2-2. This is a chance to send it to a third and decisive game. That's a good deep return from Tyson.
Well played shot there by McGuffin. Got Jardim and Yates scrambling, but they're able to get back. And then finally into the net, and there it is. So game 2, 11-2 in favor of Jardim and Yates.
Great
and we
hustle.
will go to a third game. Let's take a look at that point.
Great hustle here from Yates, getting to it. But even better job of Simone covering that court for him and then getting in to finish the point. That's great.
Timeout on the court here in Las Vegas. Game number 3 coming your way after this quick break. The Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown, Miller Lite, and by Highlands. Back here in Las Vegas, we're heading to a third game here in our winner's bracket final of the Pro Mixed Doubles. And been pretty interesting so far. Great competition on both sides and some fantastic points.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. It'll be interesting to see what happens here in game 3. I mean, both teams are playing at a very high level, seem to be executing their strategies very well. And then we'll just see who's going to be able to come out on top here.
And we did have some people asking us on the live stream whether or not one side or the other has the advantage with the wind that blew over the net. But perhaps the bigger factor is you can see on the left corner of your screen, the sun now is starting to creep its way back onto championship court, and it will continue to do so. Eventually, both sides will be fully illuminated in the sun, but we will reach a point where the far court is mostly in the sun and the near court is in the shade, and that will create some problems.
Yeah, it does make it a little more challenging when that ball travels in and out of the sunlight through those shadows. Makes it a little bit harder to pick it up, and so when balls are coming fast, that could be a bit more of a challenge.
We're hearing you talk about changing the 11s to yellow.
Players have different strategies when playing with a little bit of wind, and some players like to have the wind at their back because that means that when they hit hard, that the speed of that ball gets amplified. And so, a player like Tyson, who really looks to hit hard on those third shots, then has a little extra boost. Or, for example, when he's serving like he's about to do here, other players like to be hitting into the wind because then they can swing more freely and still have a feeling that the ball is going to stay in the court. So. So everyone would agree that one side is better than the other, but what they don't always agree on is which side that is.
McGuffin covering a lot of ground.
Jeez. Defense and offense that we're seeing on this point is probably some of the best that you're ever going to see in a mixed doubles match.
And McGuffin puts it down low enough that Yates could not get it.
And that's pretty much where you have to put it. I mean, you can see, unless you're going to get it down low and thread that needle, it's hard to get anything by all 4 of these players.
Simone unable to get it across the net, so another point for Ansboury and McGuffin.
One of the things to note, in game number 1, Jardim and Yates had 10 unforced errors, but in game number 2, they had just 5. Now they're already up to 3 in this game, so if the pass is any indication, they're going to have to get a little bit steadier here and not miss balls that they should be able to put away.
And they break serve there, and they will get a chance now to get back into this game. 0-3-1 with Jardim serving.
We have Mr. Brent Dixit that has joined us. He and I partnered some in some tournaments down in Surprise. He's certainly good enough to compete at this pro level. I don't get to play enough to be able to, so thanks for joining us, Brent. Las Vegas was close enough for him to come play. Maybe next time.
Well, as we said, now everybody has fair warning. Next September, you want to be here in Las Vegas.
There's an offensive lob.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. Yeah, so not only was Tyson able to track down that offensive lob, that was a good one. We said that they had to be hit perfectly, and it was. But he was able to get back and hit a good offensive shot off of it. Watch this forehand here. It's hard, it's low, it's coming out of that sunlight. Makes it a bit more challenging to handle. There's another unforced error.
So 2-3-2 as Jardim and Yates get it back to a 1-point deficit. Ansboury was ready for the lob.
Yeah, she was. She went up and got that one, Kyle. He just wasn't able to get that one deep enough in that corner. She went up and put it back at his feet.
Well, a change-up serve from Tyson usually hits that much harder. It's sort of like a baseball pitcher throwing a change-up, right? Your opponents get used to a certain rhythm, a certain speed. Oh.
So they finally do discuss it and they rule it out of bounds. Wasn't 100% sure what the final ruling on that was, but we'll go to the second serve.
3-2-2 is the score. Sarah's serving. These four players are staples on the pickleball scene, regularly competing for medals and money against one another.
Yates puts it away. The serve will change sides. Yates hits it just wide.
Yeah, I don't mind that lob there. One thing that players might think about is when they play their lobs, it's a good idea to often play them cross court, because when you hit cross court, you've got a longer distance to hit to. You've got more court to work with. And so 2 lobs ago, that when Kyle tried to go down the line to Sarah, didn't have a lot of room to work with, and she was able to put it away. That lob that Sarah hit cross court over Jardim gives her a little bit more territory.
Andrea Ingvelson wondering, are there line judges that she cannot identify? There are line judges working here on championship court.
Yeah, there will be line judges in the gold medal matches, in the medal match. This is the winner's bracket final. So what that means is the winner of this match will go and play for gold. So right now, wow, there's a great around the post. So right now we have the referee who's out on court. He's calling kitchen, non-volley zone infractions, and overruling any clear mistakes. But in the pre-medal matches, the players make their own line calls. That's a good, solid third shot drive. That's what happens when the return is a little bit short, and that's why Tyson's serve is so important. People sometimes think you shouldn't hit a serve if you're not hard if you're not going to win outright. But if he can get a weak return like he did there from Kyle Yates, that opens up the possibility to go on offense.
So 5-3-1.
Okay, 5-2-2. Ansboury serving. Let's pay attention to the depth of Yates' return here. Is he able to push McGuffin back behind the baseline? Well, it wasn't that deep, but it was away from McGuffin, so it worked okay.
Ron Elvey asking for some information about the paddle lengths that are being used. And in pickleball, guys, there's not really any limitations in terms of the length. It's more the surface area that is restricted.
Yeah, that's right. There's limits on how much surface area it can be. And so you can make a paddle slightly longer, and but that requires you that it be slightly narrower. So for example, so I think right now all the players except for Tyson are using a standard length paddle. Tyson's is slightly longer. This is called the Selkirk Invicta. It's his signature paddle. It's a little bit narrower, but because it's only a little bit narrower, it's still a pretty playable paddle. So he's got a little extra length, a little extra reach, and a little more leverage, which really helps him when he wants to hit those hard serves and put away shots.
McGuffin catches up with the lob that Ansboury couldn't.
Oh.
Another fantastic exchange.
Yeah, and that gets the crowd here into this match a little bit more.
It's so important to be able to get those high balls down into the ground. It's much more difficult to defend when the ball's down low around your ankles or bouncing off your shoelaces than it is if it's at your midsection. So when you get that high ball, it doesn't always have to be that hard to be a good put away, but it does have to be down like we saw there. If you get it into the ground, you get a much better chance of winning the point. Score's 5-2-2. Ansboury serving, and again, let's see if Yates can push Ansboury and McGuffin back behind the baseline. He did, and that forced Tyson to play a softer, less aggressive third shot.
But then the Yates backhand goes long.
The players are going to switch sides, and they're going to continue the game. 6-2-2, Sarah Ansboury serving.
And they will do that, switch sides in a third and final game of a match, which is unique as compared to the first two games of the match. We're going to take a quick time out as well. We'll step away, back with the rest of Game 3 after this from Las Vegas. The Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown. Miller Lite and by Head. Back here in Las Vegas, a 6-2 advantage for Ansboury and McGuffin, as Jardim and Yates with work to do if they want to avoid going to the opportunity bracket.
Yeah, and what are you thinking, Mark? I mean, we've seen, you know, the first game where Ansboury and McGuffin were able to take that 11-2. We saw them roll off like 7 unanswered points, and then Jardim and Yates 11-2 in the second. What do you think they're going to have to do to get this win in the third?
Well, I think right now that what we're seeing from McGuffin and Ansboury is they're really going more often than not with the power game. And Jardim and Yates are going to have to do a better job of handling those shots, of not popping up high balls that can then be put away, of defending a little bit better. But Ansboury and McGuffin, when they start hitting hard at you, it's tough to keep that ball both in the court and low.
Yates finally able to put it away. McGuffin covering a lot of ground to try and keep that alive. 3-6-2 with Yates trying to close the gap a little bit further. Another around the post shot. That time McGuffin was ready for it.
That was perfectly played.
It's amazing how quickly the point can go from being consecutive fastballs to then these consecutive soft, slow touch shots, trying to prevent the opponent from hitting something damaging.
And that lob just a little bit too long.
Yeah, that was Simone, you know, looking to take that offensive lob, put it on the back of the line, try to get Tyson and Sarah back in a more defensive position.
Yeah, one of the things you'll notice, players are often told that they should move with their partners. Next time they're in a dinking rally where all four out there now, I'd like you to watch, especially when they're going cross-court with each other, is watch the person not hitting the ball. What you'll see is that they don't actually follow side to side the way that, you know, windshield wipers might. What you'll see is the non-hitting person, they're still alert, they're still present, they might like move a half step or a quarter step, but mostly what they're doing is they're holding their ground and they have confidence in their partner. So watch the guys here, right? So they're watching, they're looking to intercept if they can, but if they can't, they don't keep following. right? And the reason that they do this is they have confidence that their partner can play a good quality dink, a good soft low ball that can't be put away. So you see this movement, McGuffin and Yates looking to intercept if they can. That's why they're close to the middle. But once they realize that that ball's cross-court and out of their reach, they're not going to keep following. They're going to stay put.
And you see what Simone keeps doing there, right? She keeps keeping Tyson honest here to the line, right? And he's over in the middle trying to poach something. She puts it down back behind him along the line, just trying to keep him a little more honest.
And that shot just a little bit long. Simone looking to McGuffin, who said, yep, it was out.
Yeah, and we could see that from here, too. We had a pretty good view. We almost have linespeople view from right here.
It's another good example of when you get that ball that's a bit high, it's not always so important to hit hard. It is important to hit that ball down into the ground. Hitting it into the dirt, I like to say with some of my pickleball students.
Well, we hope everyone that's joined us on Facebook Live is enjoying today's broadcast. We definitely have more matches coming up.
Including Lucy Kovalova has joined the stream.
Yeah, Lucy and Matt are both with us virtually. Hopefully they can join us some other time in the future. If you see the share button at the bottom left-hand side of your screen, be sure to share with your other friends, pickleball or not pickleball.
Yeah, let's see that number continue to rise. As of right now, 535 people watching this live stream.
Lucy saying hello to everyone. Hello to you too, Lucy.
Around the post again, and again, McGuffin was ready for it.
Yeah, he's just putting on an around the post clinic, isn't he? Oh, nice recovery.
You know, we talked earlier in this match about the way that the game's evolving and how when one player does something unique or different, that then forces the rest of them. It used to be that hitting around the post was sort of the highlight reel shot, and for a lot of recreational players, it still is. Right? You see all the time when someone posts, "I hit my first ATP." But at the pro level, those around the post shots are so common. Now what the more sort of impressive shot is when you block that around the post shot. It's low, it's fast, you gotta see that it's about to be coming, and you gotta be able to get down low to do it. And so Tyson McGuffin's had a few examples today of blocking those ATPs, and it's really impressive. You can see Cal Yates in the sunlight here. Yeah, that sun creeping in as we mentioned it would.
And Matt Wright is nudging you a little bit. Talking about introducing Lucy and not him. He's been right here with us too.
Matt's been out for a little while, I saw him.
He has.
Although he did say he was also watching Michigan on a college football Sunday, so he's got the multi-screen experience going. Or college football Saturday, excuse me.
Yes, yeah, it is. It is Saturday, isn't it?
So 2 points away now from ensuring a spot in the gold medal match are Ansboury and McGuffin.
Ooh.
All these players are just moving on the court so well, anticipating so well too. And see, the chemistry between both teams is pretty impressive as we're going to go to a timeout here as Ansboury and McGuffin have a match point opportunity.
Yeah, Yates and Jardim expressing their frustration. They'll try to collect themselves in a 7-point hole here in Game 3. The Las Vegas Pickleball Open is brought to you by the Plaza Hotel and Casino, the place to be downtown, and by Miller Lite and Franklin, the X40, the official ball of the Las Vegas Pickleball Open. Back here in Las Vegas, Nevada, 13 pickleball courts in all were built on the pool deck here of the Plaza Hotel and Casino. And yes, if you're wondering whether or not you can come here to Vegas and play on those courts, they will be leaving the vast majority of the courts up all year long. So if you want to come to the hotel, you don't have to come here in September for the tournament, although you should. But if not, come here any time of year and take advantage of the rooftop courts here. It is fantastic.
So that's an important side out that Yates and Jardim just got. They were down a match point. That could have been it for them in this match. We're going to see if they can put a couple more points on the board and get back in it. Wow, good effort from Yates.
Oh.
Just too
Finally,
much.
McGuffin puts it away, though. Ty McGuffin, who earlier this year signed a contract with Selkirk Sport that at the time they billed as the largest endorsement deal ever offered a pickleball player.
Yeah, I know. I, too, am a member of the Selkirk crew, and it's so great having Tyson to be part of it. The brothers, Mike and Rob Barnes, really take great care of all the players that are in the Selkirk family.
Great shot by Yates right down the line. McGuffin thought maybe it was going to go out of bounds, but it stayed in.
Yeah, this is a very nice move there by Kyle. He saw that opening and he was able to step in there and take it.
So McGuffin serving for the match.
Oh, and there it is.
Yep.
Kissed off the top of the net, and there you go.
One more look at match point. Not the highlight reel point of the tournament, of this match, I should say, and we've had plenty.
Yeah, you can see here it just clips the top of the net. That changes the bounce of the ball, changes the trajectory a little bit. And there you go. Congratulations, Ansboury and McGuffin.
They go on to the gold medal game. Meantime, Yates and Jardim, they live to play another day. They'll go back into the opportunity bracket. More coming your way from Vegas, including interviews with the winners next. Welcome back to beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada, on the rooftop deck here of the Plaza Hotel and Casino. Our first match of the day is in the books, the winners bracket final, and happy to be joined by the winners who now will move on to the gold medal match, Ty McGuffin and Sarah Ansboury. And Ty, first let's talk a little bit about the sun. You said even though it hadn't crept all the way onto the court, it was difficult just having it lighting up the stands there in the background.
Yeah, it's a little tricky, you know, like the ball kind of stands with his hotel behind us here, so it's a little tricky to see. But we played well together. I mean, it was our first time beating Kyle and Simone, so it feels pretty good. Sarah played great. I just have to do my little role, and then she takes over, and life's great. So no, super happy. Yeah,
Simone's had quite the run. I have a hunch you may see them again in the championship match, but we'll worry about that when that happens. Let's talk about you coming in. You weren't playing yesterday, so I don't know, was it an advantage or a disadvantage being fresh or not being tuned up?
I think it was a disadvantage. I realized that when I got here this morning. I've actually never played with this ball before, so I didn't even realize we were playing with the ball until I got here last night. And so it took me a little while to get kind of warm and get going and stuff. So it's the first time I've ever come in and played one event. So I'm realizing that I'm not used to that at all.
Yeah, the ball is very soft. Yeah. It's definitely not like the Dur. The Dur is a little faster, it's a little quicker. This Franklin ball is very soft too. It you know, puts a lot of points in like these longer rallies, so it's very difficult to put the ball away.
You guys had some pretty incredible exchanges. You know, Simone and Kyle, and the two of you playing at a very high level right now. You hit on it. It's fun to watch as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's our first time beating Kyle and Simone. We've played him, I think, 2 other times, and we were somewhat close. But I don't know if his ball helped or if we just played better today. But no, it feels pretty cool to be in the finals and undefeated. So.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the net. You had an issue with the ball going off the pole, and then, of course, the wind gust that completely blew up one of the exchanges. We had to take a timeout and reset. Have you ever seen anything like that happen before, and how much was the wind a factor?
Wind is a huge factor. I mean, you can't not say it's a factor here. It's, you know, and there's quite a few balls where you're right there, and all of a sudden it's not there anymore. And so we're missing balls that, you know, we wouldn't normally miss because it just sits there. You know, the net's just a normal net, so that's not a big deal. I think the temporary net we actually kind of like. I think it goes into Tyson's favor when he starts hitting that ball. You know, when you're driving that ball, temporary net goes into the favor when you tip that net, whereas a permanent net, it's not going to go over as much. So, you know, there's pluses and minuses to both of them. I think it makes it interesting in the wind. It definitely it changes lots of results and lots of game. We've been frustrated earlier in the day with the wind. I mean, it was crazy how many balls we missed earlier in the day. So, I mean, just the fact that we're not missing these balls anymore.
Well, everybody's dealing with it, and hopefully it's going to calm down a little bit as we get later in the day. But you guys get a chance to go hydrate and rest. Congratulations. We'll see you in the championship match.
Yeah, awesome.
All right. Pretty good performance by Ty McGuffin and Sarah Ansboury. We'll see them again in a little bit. We're going to take another timeout. Plenty more coverage coming your way. Don't go anywhere. We are just getting started here in Las Vegas, Nevada.